Did you know during slavery, enslaved people were often forced to read and interpret the Bible, but the way it was used was highly manipulative and strategic? Did you know slave owners used the Bible as a tool of control? They would often force enslaved people to attend church services where white ministers would preach a version of Christianity that emphasized submission, obedience, and servitude. Did you know the enslaved were told that it was God's will for them to accept their place in society and endure their suffering? Did you know passages from the Bible, such as those about honoring one's master or the story of Noah's curse on his son Ham, misinterpreted to justify slavery, were frequently highlighted to encourage compliance with the institution of slavery? Did you know some slaveholders allowed or even encouraged enslaved people to read the Bible, but often under strict supervision and with restrictions on what they could access? Did you know the Bible was often seen as a way to keep the enslaved spiritually subdued, focusing on an afterlife where they would receive rewards rather than on their immediate plight? Did you know slaveholders saw Christianity, particularly the Bible, as a means to keep enslaved people obedient? Did you know the idea was to instill a sense of passivity and acceptance of one's social position? Did you know preachers who were sympathetic to the slave system would often use selected Bible verses to justify slavery? Did you know these verses were interpreted by some to mean that slavery was a divinely ordained institution, reinforcing the idea that enslaved people should not resist or rebel, but instead accept their conditions? Did you know the Bible was one of the primary tools used by European and American slaveholders to justify the transatlantic slave trade and the institution of slavery? Did you know they often cited specific verses to legitimize their actions? Did you know the curse of Ham, the story in Genesis 9:20-27, where Noah curses his son Ham's descendants, was misinterpreted as a divine justification for enslaving African people? Did you know racist theologians falsely claimed that Ham's descendants were black and destined to be subjugated? Did you know the misuse of biblical narratives created a deep-rooted justification for slavery, reinforcing racial stereotypes and denying humanity? Did you know, despite the manipulation, many enslaved people found ways to interpret scripture that inspired them to hope for freedom and resist oppression? Did you know enslaved people often adapted biblical stories to fit their own narratives of resistance, finding strength and solace in faith? Did you know this adaptation of faith not only provided spiritual comfort, but also fostered a sense of community and resilience among enslaved populations? Did you know the legacy of this struggle continues to resonate today, as many draw strength from these reinterpretations of Scripture to fight against injustice? Did you know the historical misuse of the Bible has led many to reclaim and reinterpret its messages as foundational to movements for freedom and civil rights? Did you know this reclamation of faith continues to inspire new generations to advocate for civil rights, using the Bible as a source of strength and guidance? Did you know the journey of faith and freedom is intertwined, showing how Scripture can serve as both a tool of oppression and a source of liberation? Did you know this duality of Scripture emphasizes the transformative power of faith when interpreted through the lens of justice and humanity?